Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you're notified every time I upload a new video.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sneha Banerjee and today I'm going to list down 10 books that will definitely make you cry, and I'll tell you why these books made me cry. So let's get started with this video. So the first book in this list is A Handbook for My Lover by Rosalyn D Mello. It's the story of a woman who is writing to her lover who is really older than her, and he is a renowned photographer. So they have this affair about which no one really knows, and she is basically writing this as a memoir, and she writes about her everyday encounter with him, how he has hurt her, and how just everything about their relationship and how everything went wrong and how she endured all the pain. It's pretty provocative, it's pretty seductive, and it's a really nice book, like the way it has been written, but the vulnerability, the miserableness of her life, of her emotions, and how she has been hurt by the man, it will make you cry, it will tear you up. Next up is Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell, and there was a time when I used to read a lot of PDF format books, and back then when I downloaded this book and I read the first chapter, I was like, it is just going to be another school romance, and I'm not interested in school romance, so I ended up not reading it. But recently I came across this review by the Bookaholics and on Instagram, and I read their description about this book, like how they also felt that this was just going to be another school romance. But when they ended up reading the book, it was so much more. It was so much about their characters and their character development and about understanding the shallowness inside you. And I'm so sure that you're definitely going to cry when you read this book because of how beautiful the characters are and also the story. It's so beautiful. So the next book is The Kite Runner by Khaled Husseini, and I really don't need to tell you why I cried, or I just really don't need to justify what were the points that made me cry, because everything about this book is going to make you cry. The characters, especially the character of Hassan, oh my goodness, the friendship that they share, the friendship, the longing, and the suffocation that you feel when you cannot stand up for the one you love, when you cannot stand up, and when you are just running away from something, running away from a person, from a situation that you cannot deal. Everything about this book is going to make you cry, and not just once but like the entire time. It's such a beautiful book that I just don't really have words. It will just make you cry, I'm just so sure. And it's just not a book, it's a whole experience about war and a country, a place that is completely ruined because of war. It's such a beautiful book, so definitely read this book if you want to read something emotional. Next up is Everything by Nicola Yoon. I already have a review on this book and I have talked about this book a lot in my videos, and this is a very beautiful book. It talks about loneliness, it talks about longing, and it's such a beautiful book. Also the characters are like really endearing and their struggles are so real, and everything about this book is just so fantastic, and it will definitely make you cry, I can totally guarantee, because I did cry a lot when I was reading this book. So the next book is Lolita by Vladimar Nabokov, and I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name right, but I just hope I am. So anyway, so this book, why this book? Okay, so this book because it tells you the story of a pedophile from his perspective. So it's basically you're getting access to the mind of a predator whose prey is a young adolescent girl, and the way he sees her, the way he looks at her, and the way he objectifies her, it will just tear you up. And especially for women, because I know that every woman at some point of their lives have dealt with someone who was a pedophile, who did objectify them, who did sexualize their bodies, and it's just such a disgusting feeling to be feeling that. So I know that this is going to make every woman cry at least once because of how scary and how real the book in itself is. So I really don't know if you would want to read something that frightening, but if you want to read something that will make you cry, I guess this one will make you cry, because Lolita is such a sweet girl, she's such a beautiful girl, and she didn't deserve what she was getting. And especially when you get access to the mind of the predator, of the person who is actually looking towards you, not as a person but as someone he wants to occupy and attain, that is just so disgusting that it will make you cry out. So the next book is The Perks of Being a Wallflower, and this book deals with some really sensitive issues and topics, and I guess it's it's a book that is going to be relatable to a lot of people out there because of the issues that they are dealing with, and it will definitely make you cry because of the way the characters embrace their flaws and all the issues that they are dealing with. So the next book is Anne Frank's The Diary of a Young Girl, and you must have already read a few extracts from this book back in your school days. And this book is so beautiful, and I just can't understand that how can a girl be so mature and so forgiving at such a tender age. Like the way she has written everything, the way she has written her struggles, and everything about this book will make you cry and tear you up from inside because of how mature and forgiving she was, even in the times when she was struggling with her family. So if you want to read something that will make you cry or just make you emotional, then this book is going to be the one. So the next book is One More Day by Mitch Albom, and Mitch Albom knows how to write in a way that will absolutely make you emotional and cry, especially because this book deals with guilt and regret, and guilt and regret are two emotions that leaves you just completely helpless and hopeless because you cannot go back and change things that you have done. So it will just make you cry the way it has been written, especially when something is related to your mother and your family. I guess these topics will always leave you emotional, and it will definitely make you cry. So the next book is A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Husseini, and Khaled Husseini knows how to make you cry. This book is about two women, Mariam and Leila, and they come together eventually because of war, and their relationship is just so messed up and complicated, and yet they are there for each other, and their relationship becomes so sacred, and it's just so beautiful to encounter their story. And it will definitely make you cry, especially the way Khaled Hosseini has written it. He has described their pain and their longing in such a beautiful manner that you are just bound to cry. So the last book in this list has to be Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, because this is my favorite book and I've cried so much reading this book, but I've not really encountered many people who have felt the same emotions as I have, because maybe they did not really understand the concept of the book. They always come to me and ask me, like, why did Franz Kafka not explain how did Gregor, or why did Gregor transform into an insect? But they do not really understand that his metamorphosis into an insect was a metaphor, and a metaphor is not there to be explained or to be dissected into an explanation of everything. It's a metaphor, and it is there to direct you towards the real truth from a different path. See, if you can identify and understand the metaphor in this book and everything that is going on in this book, and you can actually understand how and why Franz Kafka wrote this book, you will totally get me, you will totally turn so emotional, and you will cry a lot. You will cry for Gregor. Alright, so these were all the books that I wanted to recommend to you if you want to read something emotional, and the books that will definitely make you cry, obviously. And yeah, that was all for today. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time. Until then, goodbye.